Hello and welcome to the Gabriel Kid Fan Association. Uh,
Led by CEO AO
absolutely,
of the Gabe Kid
yes.
Appreciation Society.
And today's
Let it be
mission is to
known.
win Charlie over.
No, this is.
Hopefully
We are
she'll
not
see the light.
starting with this. I have tweets praising Gabriel Kid from before today, from months before. We're not doing this.
Photoshop.
I don't
Stop
Photoshop.
lying on my name.
You see, the thing is, you
Anyway.
really don't. Anyway.
Ayo, I swear to God. Hi, everyone.
Anyways. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Wrestle Purist live stream before Dynamite. Today, we're going to be getting into New Japan Independence Day. Eddie Kingston winning gold, of course. It's big around here. Big on these streets. We've got AEW's Collision number. Quite striking number. We'll probably touch on that a little bit. I'm sure AO's got some things to say. But yeah, man. First things first, please like, subscribe, super chat, turn on post notifications. Always appreciated. Of course, joined by Big AO, Charlie, Rob, Mr. Hulbert. And yeah, man. First things first. How's everyone doing? I'll start with you, Rob.
Hey, man, I have returned to Wednesdays. I was sitting there last week, and I realized how much fun everybody was having. I was like, damn, I ain't been on Wednesday in a minute. So, I cleared up my schedule, my very, very tough schedule of doing nothing. And I said I'll be on the Wednesday show. So, yeah.
Good to have you back, of course. Good stuff. Throw it to you next, AO. Of course, the EVP, the CEO of the Gabriel Kid Fan Association. How are you doing?
Real.
Good day for you. Good week.
Yesterday, I was able to enjoy Independence Day, even though it's fuck America, you feel me? But July 4th was a good time to get together with friends and family. The night before, I watched an excellent New Japan pay-per-view. New Japan is back, promotion of the year.
Yes,
and then
sir.
last night, I didn't get to watch it. I was tipsy. I was doing a little drinking, doing a little smoking, bro. I passed out like an hour before the show. You feel me? Like, I stayed up all that time for no reason. Woke up this morning, watched the show. Chuck, out of the kindness of our heart, decided to ruin the Eddie Kingston result to me. I thank you so much for that, Chuck. And then
it was a mistake.
And then it was kind of cloudy. It was kind of cloudy, Monty. And then the skies just fucking opened up. A ray beam of light just shined right down on me, like I was the main character of the universe. Angels was flying around with fucking trumpets and horns, Monty. And you know what they told me? They told me that Saturday Night Collision number, nigga. CM Punk! What happened? I was told Saturdays was real wrestling for real wrestling fans. Apparently, there's only 3 real wrestling fans left. Nobody else likes wrestling no more, bro. Everybody's just... Hey, man. If you were gonna tell me, right, in 2012, 2013, 2014, Punk would be out for 7 years, come back, be out for injury and some other undisclosed reasons, and then come back again, and then get outdrawn by Johnny Nitro, QT Marshall, and Harley Cameron, I'd say to you, who the fuck is QT Marshall, bro? Hey, but it happened. This week, it happened. So now there's a new pecking order in town. We got AEW Dynamite as the A show. We got Rampage as the B show, and the C in Collision stands for C show, my nigga.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, he was never gonna live that one down, man.
Shout out to Roddy and Joe, though. Roddy and Joe was some real fucking professional.
Yo, man.
Yeah, it's a good show, man.
But yo, man, this is only the beginning. Just wait for September.
It's only the beginning.
October.
LSU versus Alabama on a Saturday night. Notre Dame on a Saturday night. It's gonna get spiteful.
So nasty.
Our British friends Monty, Joe, and Chuck. I don't know if they know just how important college football is in America, because the idea of college sports being like popular and a huge deal anywhere but America is like really foreign. But it's like more people watch college football than they do the NBA, bro. Like it's right under the NFL in popularity here. So it's gonna get really nasty. It's gonna get
like
really
some,
nasty.
like some of the national championship games are like the highest rated sports, any sports game of any sport of the year
Yeah,
type shit.
until you like get to the fucking Super Bowl. So I'm
It's
just
going to be
over
a
here
tough
rubbing my
grind, man.
hands
It's going
together.
to be a tough grind.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Malachi Black saying he only wants to be on Saturdays. I only want you on Saturdays, my brother.
See, already getting spiteful, you know.
That nigga wants
3
to be
weeks
back on.
in.
That nigga wants to be back on Fridays, and I'm not talking about Rampage.
I don't fucking weak.
But yeah, man. Charlie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I don't really know how to follow that, but yeah, no, I'm doing good. It's been a good time. Spent some time with friends and family, not related to 4th of July, just in general.
Are you sure?
Yeah, pretty sure.
So-
I did go to the pub yesterday, but we weren't celebrating.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, been doing pretty good.
Happy days, happy days.
She's doing well because she finally realized the light that Gabriel Kidd and the rest of the Bullet Club, the entire Bullet
Search
Club War
Gabriel
Dogs
Kidd
action.
on my Twitter profile, and you will find praise from like a year ago. We're
I
not
don't think I
doing
will.
this.
For years, actually, we was telling Chuck that Gabriel Kidd was next up. Gabriel Kidd has the potential to be the next leader of the Bullet Club. And she had a nasty agenda against him because he went on the Wrestle Things podcast, shout out to NK and them, and said some very spiteful things about some wrestlers that we enjoy. And I was like, Chuck, you know, he's got a lot going on. He was working a little bit. You know, you don't got to take it personally. But she chose to take it personally. But now that he's just ascended to the top of the ranks of the New Japan Strong tag team division, she has now seen the light in the War Dogs and Gabriel Kidd.
Real.
I think Gabriel Kidd is very talented, and I enjoy his tag team a lot, and have done for a while now. So
Nah, can we call 48
This
hours
is-
a
we're
while?
not-
I'm about to say.
Can we really call 48 hours a while?
Right, like,
I don't know. That's the agenda you're running with. So can we?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh man. Joe,
Right?
how you doing, old man?
I will admit I'm feeling slightly unprepared for this extensive Gabriel Kidd sort of back and forth. I have no idea what podcast. I mean, I'm aware of the podcast he was on. I don't know what he said on it. I'm going to just leave that there. But I'm good nonetheless. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about, so I'm fired up getting into it. It's always good to see Eddie Kingston wins gold in any title at any time. So fired up, brother.
Well, since we've already touched on it, I think we'll just start with the AEW Collision rating that came out, and I believe it was around 452k total viewers.
God damn!
Average viewers.
Wait, I'm sorry, what did you say, Monty?
452k
Oh my
average
god!
viewers, I think. And the rating was a 0.13 in the 18 to 49. So another substantial drop, which has been the trend the first 3 weeks. But this one, getting to, you know, it's literally, it drew the same number as Rampage, not literally, not identical. So yeah, it's quite a steep drop, you know. Hulbert, I know you was kind of fearing this even before the college football came in, like Ayo and Rob have already mentioned. So yeah, man, kind of, was you expecting it to be kind of this drastic, this quick though? And do you think it will bounce back? And do you think that Money in the Bank or anything else had anything to do with it? Or
I mean, I think you know me well enough to know I'm not pretending or being dramatic when I say that. Like, I was pretty convinced this thing was going to be an issue ratings-wise, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will say 0.13 is crazy.
Yeah.
But I noticed on Saturday I wasn't watching the show live because Money in the Bank, and that's I was behind. I think Fight was behind in general, right? Money was the case, Charlie.
Yeah,
It was
about
like, it was like
30
an hour
minutes
or some shit.
Yeah. So like I was watching it way on delay, and I noticed I could like, this is a very small thing, but I could like freely be on Twitter and not get spoiled for that show. And whenever that's the case for an AEW show, considering my timeline, like, I don't know, there didn't seem to be a lot of buzz for it. Now, I'm not I'm not a ratings expert by any means, but, you know, this is going to be an issue moving forward, generally speaking. I don't know what they want or expect from the show. I would assume that they would hope it would be higher after 3 episodes, considering what's ahead, right? Like, that is a big drop across 3 weeks. My gut feeling on it is, I don't know if it would have helped dramatically, but the tape situation, while historically that hasn't changed ratings much, being taped after just 3 weeks felt like in some ways it signaled to some of the hardcore fans, you know, in terms of where the show was slotted. So there's a lot of moving pieces. I'm not surprised. I think you know that from our many conversations since the show was announced. Like, I didn't get the sense, and I'm glad Collision exists because I love the show, which is the most important thing as a fan, right? But I didn't get the sense that people were like desperate for another 2 hours of AEW TV. I never did, right? We talked about this a million times over previously, and it's like, I think you're going to see that in the coming months, unfortunately, from the TV perspective. As a fan, whatever, I'm going to watch all of it anyway, so we shall see, but I'm not surprised, Monty, no.
Absolutely, we will. Ibu has decided to join us, as many people could see in the live chat. Ao had his chance to kind of go on his victory lap. So I'll give you your chance, Ibu, to kind of have your copism soliloquy, you know? So do you think, bro?
You think I'm here to talk about AEW ratings? I'm here
Yeah.
to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling. The best wrestling promotion in the fucking world.
My brother.
Independence Day Day 1 was tremendous.
Running from the grind.
Absolutely fucking tremendous. It was so good.
What happened
But
Saturday?
the second day could live off the fumes of the first day and still be good. It was like when your mom makes a wonderful, wonderful dinner, right? And then you warm up the leftovers the next day of a great meal, and it's still great. It's not day one, but it's still beautiful. New Japan is back. There's so many young wrestlers flourishing right now. It's beautiful to see. Gabriel Kidd, Alex Coughlin, Kosei Fujita. My goodness, I mean, oh man, Eddie Kingston was in Korakuen Hall.
Just caught AO's name.
Speaking of which, speaking of leftovers, back up Hangman.
Okay.
That bullshit CM Punk was cooking 2 weeks ago must have rotted overnight, nigga. Because everybody threw that shit away, said we don't want any more, tapped out of Collision, and went about their lives. And you know what my favorite cope is? My favorite cope is the non-Americans talking about holiday weekends, this, that, and the third.
It's a holiday weekend, man.
Do you know anyone who is doing anything 4th of July related this weekend?
Yes, I know a lot of people that were doing a lot of things.
I got a question for you, Monty. When it comes to you and your eating on a day-to-day basis, right? You're not opposed to warming up.
You're asking the one person who doesn't eat.
Hold on. This is a general question. Anybody, you guys aren't opposed to warming up food from the night before, correct?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
All right.
Get on with it. Look at the tomatoes in the chat for Hangman, bro.
Check this out, though. Are you okay with
right
warming up? Are you okay with eating food from a week ago, though? So your analogy about leftovers and Collision doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying?
You are
What the
you're putting
fuck
up
are you
an
talking-
all-time.
That was unfortunate.
This is an all-time couple of minutes from Ibu right now. You know.
Speaking of, wait, actually, on
Yeah.
topic, Ibu, I
What's
have
up?
a question. You know, all these young lions were there. Alex Coughlin, Gabriel Kidd,
Right.
all these guys were there.
Clark
Where
Connors,
was
the backup Hangman of New Japan Pro Wrestling himself, the DKC, was also there.
where was? But Ibu, I have a question. Where was Yuya? Where was Yuya?
Yeah, where was
Yuya? He's being prepared for an epic return as the forgotten Musketeer. We will see him at some point soon. Listen, we're gonna see you soon. How we doing, brother?
Yuya is doing 5-minute jobs to Kenny King in 2023. My
that's that's Gato approved excursion booking.
You know what? I also know that in a few months, a certain club in Florida is going to be giving Yuya that call.
What's going on, bro?
And you know, perhaps Yuya might take that call. How do you feel about that?
He shouldn't do that because he has to stay the course. Because again, he's the forgotten Musketeer, and we'll see him at some point later.
That nigga is not a forgotten Musketeer. Don't give a fuck about that. Nigga.
Listen to me. If you've noticed, right, when they made the Reiwa Musketeers announcement, right, a bunch of people in the company were weighing in with their opinions. You know, people like Gabriel and others, right? And clearly they're trying to set up like a decade's worth of storytelling with this label. And I think Yuya factors into it by basically being the guy who was, again, abandoned and forgotten despite being from the same class. Tokyo Sports, it's a Japanese news publication. The headline coming out of that announcement was a title that said, "Where's Yuya?" And they're very much in conjunction with the promotion when it comes to these articles. So it's obviously a work, you know, and he will be back soon, and I'm excited for it. So that's my my take on that whole situation.
All right, back to the topic at hand.
Right.
AEW Collisions. catastrophic ratings.
Mhm.
Thoughts?
I know. My only reaction is we'll see how this week does. I'll tell you what. Honestly, in all seriousness, week 3 was not the week to start kind of like slowing down. You know what I mean? And so you got to establish this thing, foot on the gas, establish the viewing habit for sure. And again, they got to promote it this week. You know what I mean? They got a great card, and we'll see what happens.
Maybe it was just bad. You ever thought about that?
Talking about wait. Okay, so question, Rob. So you're saying bad content equals bad ratings? That's what you're saying?
I don't know. The week the Guns won the titles.
Did y'all
Guns won the
y'all do that?
titles.
Hold on. Wait, Rob. Just answer my question. Bad
Uh,
ratings come from bad content. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
That's what you're saying, right? So
Yeah,
so
what's up?
why? So
Charlie
why,
already knows.
Why?
Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do this. I
Why?
know where you're going. Don't do this.
Why did the Young Bucks versus BCC tank the viewership to $6.99 a month ago on Dynamite? Are you saying that match is bad?
I never said that.
You just did.
I'm pretty sure there was something going up against that match at the exact same time. So
I
that's
don't.
not.
What would that be? Vanderpump Rules?
No, it's the #1 show on television right now. Why'd
I'm
you
gonna
say
say,
that?
like,
Like,
why
why did you say that mad
niggas
condescending?
capping like
What's your favorite moment from Vanderpump?
I don't even know what it is. I don't know if it's a reality
Exactly.
show. I don't know if it's a scripted show. I just know
nigga
it's the
thought that
#1
nigga
show on
thought that was a
television.
nigga thought that was a
Anyway,
god show.
Hangman.
Yes.
So
Yes.
they come out of a show. They do a godly
What
stretching
happened? What'd I
job.
do?
This nigga's
Oh,
at
get
work.
this motherfucker out of here, bro. Get him
What's
out
up?
of
Niggas
here.
ain't cooked.
Yeah.
He's got to go. So
Get outta here.
Dear, oh
the
dear.
two colliders in here, right? Monty and Joe. I want to ask you sincerely,
Yes.
what do you do to fix this shit? Because Punk Joe, that's gonna pop a number. Like we're expecting back in the 600s. I'm assuming coming into next week off the back of Punk Joe. But you can't run that every week. So how do you keep this show afloat?
Well, I know that you, like me, have studied the teachings of wrestling done right. Correct, Ao?
Yes.
Well, there's a phrase over there in that school of thought, right? Wrestling for the masses, silent M. And so what I say, we're going to run this rating as low as we can possibly get it. And we're going to go out on our shield here. We're going to fall on our sword. If they don't want real graps, there's no more we can do. I mean, that's the best way to approach it. The idea of Kevin Kelly signing off a season finale with, "We gave you real graps, you simply didn't want it. Good night, everyone." Hey, listen, if you're going to die, you got to stand for something. So that's where I'm at personally. I don't know if Monty's got any solution.
No, I've got no solutions, man. People, we're gonna have to force feed people the real graps, and if they don't want it, like Joe said, you got. I'd rather go out on my shield,
Oh, yeah.
I
What you got to do, brother,
That's what you can do. I mean, I've been consistent, and those that are familiar with Holbert law will be able to attest to this. I mean, if a show appeals to me, you can bet your bot it's fucked. It's over. You know what I mean? If I'm sitting there going, this is my kind of wrestling, it's finished. It's got a couple of weeks left, So I was watching it on Saturday, and I was thinking, the end is nigh. I woke up, I saw the rating, and I thought, sounds about right. That's what you get for targeting the elusive Holbert audience. So it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll see if it bounces back. Obviously, Samoa Joe versus Punk, like I said, that'll pop a number most would suspect. So we'll see kind of what it steadies at in a month's time or so. And we'll see what they're dealing with.
What if it doesn't pop a number?
It might not.
On the off chance.
It depends what
Depends
we saying
what your bar is.
Yeah, like what are we saying? Because
they gotta get back in the mid 600s. Like idealistically, it'd be like 700 something, but realistically, they gotta get back in the 600s.
0.25 or higher.
No way. There was a 0.13 this week. They're not getting to a 0.25. That's again. It is what it is. But the third week being that number is like. That's pretty crazy. Genuinely. I mean, I saw Thurston's tweet earlier about the movies they would have in that slot are not like dissimilar. That's the ratings they used to do. It's like
the movies were doing the exact same numbers.
Yeah,
especially in the demo.
Listen, man,
So-
I got 5.
That's
If Manny's calls can come through, then fucking, if Manny's long shots can come through, so can mine.
bro, as the biggest hater, or one of the biggest haters on this platform of Illinois' Felipe, even I couldn't have predicted this shit in week 3, 400 something .13. Like, I would have assumed if you told me Collision was gonna do that number, I'd be like, that sounds about right. Who played last night? Like, who's?
Hey.
It's not even football season.
Listen,
yet, bro.
I said it. Y'all started falling on y'all shield on the Friday show. I told y'all niggas. I said, listen.
I didn't say anything. I just asked the people if they wanted us to give up our agenda.
I said,
And they said no.
I said, do this shit without a forbidden door, go home. Without a forbidden door build. And let's see what happens. There was no forbidden door build on this episode, and what happened?
Bro, like I was asking the purest faithful, bro, if they wanted us to stop being freaks about Collision, we will. But they said no. We need that freaky shit. Pause. And so I'm gonna kiss you in a freak, nigga.
So it's how Purist gets down, That's what got you to the dance.
That's what got us here. Being a fucking freak.
Let's dive into some super chats before we go on to some Independence Day talk. Seth Rich Rogan, $5. Appreciate you very much. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Commander draws as much as me.
That's very good.
What a match that was, though.
Commander.
I love that.
The match was beast.
Yeah, man, it was good stuff. Willie $4.99, appreciate it. Y'all ready for the next New Japan USA show to be headlined by Eddie Kingston defending the prestigious strong openweight title against QT Marshall?
Bro,
Well, hold on. I don't know what the chuckling's about there, Charlie. I mean,
look, I will say there was a time where Rocky was he was being a bit of a QT pervert. Was springing him on a little bit too many USA pay-per-views, but that has seemed to have completely stopped, unless I'm mistaken.
Well,
he hasn't been booked on Strong forever.
It's saving him for the big one.
Probably because he's doing the AAA stuff. Yeah, saving him for the
doing all
big
that
one,
AAA
but the
stuff.
AAA
Like, there's no way
stuff,
New
yeah.
Japan appreciates that. So let's get him a real opponent. Shout out to QT though.
Shout out Spurs, $5. That strong show ruled.
Facts.
Just bought my New Japan subscription back for the first time since the pandemic. Shout out to Rampage, the B Show, Shida on top.
Shout out to Shot-Town Spurs. No lies detected.
Real.
Here we go. We got 6-star legend of the channel of the chat.
Facts.
Shout out 6 stars always at $9.99. New Japan is back. Eddie is a champion. Shida outdrew Little Pep.
Yeah.
And Big Kenny's wrestling tonight.
Yeah.
Life is good. Shout out Rest of Purist. Much love to you all. Hope you're doing good, 6 star.
Appreciate
We
you,
love you as
6.
always.
Facts on
Beautiful
facts.
stuff. Shout out 6 star. Bam. Shout out Bam. $5. What does the E stand for again, everyone?
Go ahead and read it out for us, Monty.
Read that.
Someone clip this.
The elite. He ain't even done it properly.
Read it. Look. Bam paid $5 to get his super chat read.
The elite. He hasn't. I thought he was gonna do the whole the elite, but he didn't. So
Shout out to Bam.
shout out Bam anyway. Appreciate the $5.
Is there a CN? No. Let me finish Bam super
Oh
chat.
shit, my
Go
bad.
back. Is
Go on.
there a CMPUN or K in AEW? No.
No.
And shout out to Mega for trying to keep it that way.
Run, Jesus man, you might let it go, bro. $4.99. My main man Jelly Joe. Thanks for the happy 4th of July text last night, buddy.
This is
Me and the
crazy.
missus really appreciate the small gift you sent us as well.
This is crazy.
Joe, what have you sent to Sanchez?
No comment. I'm not selling any further.
Oh,
I've
it's
sold
just-
enough.
It's just a little too personal for you to divulge with the chat.
If that is how you took what I said, that's how you took what I said.
Princess Diana, $2. Yota Spoogie, wow. Mario Judah, $1.99. Appreciate it. So about Ibu being in the Jalen Green video,
Oh my god.
bro.
Hey,
Someone
man.
said it. When was it? Was it Monday?
Monday,
Yeah, me and Manny just burst into laughter, and we didn't know what was going on.
Oh,
Hey, y'all, hey, listen, y'all
Jalen
want to know
Green, what are you doing?
Y'all want to know what freaky frog means? When you look that shit up in the dictionary, that's Jalen Green's picture right there. Number one prime suspect. That's a freaky
Shout
frog.
out to
prime suspect.
Hey, man.
shout out to the LGBTQ community and Black Lives Matter.
That's not
Right.
What That's not what Houston said.
Right. Oh, 199. Appreciate you very much. Collision has been the better show every week. I enjoy Collision a lot, but as Joe Hulbert says, very artistically, you know? You appeal to a certain audience and the numbers start tanking, bro. You know?
Hey, man.
Look, if the audience that loves the show is watching it going, this takes me back to WCW Saturday Night, you're fucked. It's over, you know? No arguments from me, is what it is.
Wrestling for the masses, you know? Showtime Spurs, $5. Joe supports Collision, Tottenham, and the 76ers. Not many people can handle that amount of disappointment. Respect.
I've made this very clear that you're forgetting one of my key sports teams, which famously is Jimmy and Jay the Usos, who scored a big time win on the road last weekend. That was a big upset. That's as big an upset as you get in sports, folks. So I get my wins where I need them. That's what matters most.
Hey Joe, you know we hitting that 3 million on Friday.
Oh, you know. Yeah, that's my little show, mate. Tomorrow night, I want to be very clear about this. Tomorrow I'm doing the review show. I'm going to be giving a farewell speech. That'll be that because that's the last time you'll see me on one of these shows. By the time Monday rolls around, I'll be on holiday. I'll be on a beach somewhere. So
I'm over here doing victory laps in the name of Fuck Collision, Go Dynamite, and Tony Khan just announced a very interesting match, which is the Acclaimed, which I do enjoy, and Daddy Ass, which not so much, in a trios match versus the Blade and the Bollywood Boys.
Maybe it's all fucked.
What?
That's
Maybe it's bigger than Maybe we're
TK, what's going on,
each
man?
other. We're fighting each other so much. We need to fight the bigger cause here.
TK, what's going on, man?
There's bigger problems at hand.
I'm just putting y'all on game, man. Fridays we got the Usos.
I'm not watching that shit.
Wednesday I got the Bollywood Boys.
Speaking of Fridays, this should be on Friday at 10 p.m. on TNT. My nigga, what is going on? Why is this on Dynamite?
Just
Yeah,
saying.
we're gonna have to keep an eye on this development and see. Joe might be onto something, bro.
Come together. We're stronger than ever together, folks. We're gonna do it.
All right, they said Kenny Omega versus Yuta. I said, all right, and then they said the Bollywood Boys. I got too much PTSD from Jinder Mahal, bro. We out of there.
It's like, yeah, and the chat saying the Bollywood Boys are Canadian. Yeah, I know they're Canadian. Every time they're in Canada or the Pacific Northwest, the Bollywood Boys get booked, and everybody's like, oh, they worked over there. They're from here. Bro, it's still not a reason to put them on Dynamite, my boy. I'm sorry.
That could have been a Rampage.
That's perfect for Rampage, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I mean, perfect was a strong word, but
it's a very Rampage type.
Yeah, it's great for what TK goes for on Rampage. Let's put it that way.
Which is a mess because who knows what's going on with Rampage these days.
Shout out Johnny TV.
Shopping.
Interesting. No. I don't know if I'll go that far myself, but yeah, each to their own. But as some of you may know, this is our first of 2 live streams this evening. We will be going live on Twitch basically immediately after this to do a Dynamite watch along. Hopefully some of you guys can join us over there. And yeah, man, of course, please like, subscribe, super chat, always appreciated. Post notifications, turn them on. Now I've got those mid-stream plugs out the way. Let's jump into New Japan Independence Day properly. Yeah. We're not going to do like a full-on review. We're just going to kind of go over our highlights. We got Eddie on day one anyway. We'll start with day one. We got Eddie teaming with Rocky Romero, it felt like it was specifically targeted for me seeing that matchup. And then the wrestling Gato and Kenta. It's not, it weren't fireworks, but sometimes I just like a bit of novelty in my graps,
Shout out Gato.
I mean, yeah,
Gato's still throwing himself out there. It pops me. I can't.
Still putting the boots on,
It pops me. Now when I
Yeah.
stayed up all night to watch a New Japan show and then Gato struts out ready to wrestle, not that that part pops me, but like all the other times when you think about it, it's funny.
You know why I'm like, fuck it, let it happen? Because it's really funny every day during like G1 shows where they just kill Gato a new way every day during the tag matches.
Hey man, he's still got that fire in him, kinda, sorta. Enough to put the boots on anyway. But yeah, man, Eddie on these New Japan Strong shows, it pops me in the tear with Rocky. I like it. We got Momo and Willow versus Julia and Falca. That was obviously kind of to build up to the match on day 2. And then kind of one of the main headlines coming out of day 1 was Alex Coughlin and Gabriel Kidd, the War Dogs of Bullet Club. They defeated Bishamon. And yeah, man, Charlie, I know you're a hater, and
Real.
this was a good showing for him, man. Like, you want to take back some of the spiteful things you were saying about, Gabriel Kidd, who only lives up the road from me.
Please do.
I've not said a spiteful thing about Gabriel Kidd. I've only ever praised him.
Look, Chuck, we're all family here. You can tell the truth.
I'm telling the truth. I'm being very truthful. I have always been open about the fact that I'm a Gabriel Kidd fan, even when it got me bullied in the group chats. Ayo.
She is yelling on the stand right now. You cannot handle the truth, and the truth is that she was not praising them niggas at all. Like,
yes,
damn, these niggas are kind of bad.
As a new fan, Chuck, what were your thoughts on the match?
I thought the match was great, and I enjoyed it a lot. Gabriel Kidd and Alex Coughlin looked great out there, and Bishamon are just a great tag team anyway, so I think that this match was better than the one they had on night 2, but they were both pretty good matches anyway, so very happy that they won the belts.
Happy days. But yeah, man, they look good together, man. This War Dogs thing, one of the better parts of, like, these tags in Bullet Club, it's part of the resurgence, I saw Charlie on Twitter trying to set victory laps with David Finlay. I wasn't quite there yet, But these tags, some nice tag teams coming out of Bullet Club these days.
Yeah, we are not. When me, Rob, and Chris specifically say Bullet Club is back, we are not talking about Finlay Jr.
We wouldn't get War Dogs without David Finlay. He's done the groundwork. You just got to respect it.
I'm excited for Bullet Club because I'm just thinking of all the ways that Gabe Kidd is going to kill David Finlay in about a year and a half, and take over this bad boy.
That's going to be beast.
And be the actual leader. Niggas, the streets been looking for. The streets wanted from jump. You feel me?
I can't let a nigga that has the worst New Japan Cup final of all time take that on.
Jesus Christ, bro. And you were just watching people in real time being like, during that match, being like, see, you all were wrong about Finlay. He's great. Like, are we watching the same shitty match here?
First of all, it was Finlay and Sonata, so I mean, but I'm not gonna get into that. The 5 Sonata stands will attack me, so I'm gonna get into that.
Well, they're smaller numbers, but they're vicious.
Yeah, man. You gotta watch it on these Twitter streets, bro. On these podcasting streets. But yeah, man. We had Julia and Willow. That was kind of like the big women's match that they were building to this week. And Julia, of course, she defeats Willow for the New Japan Strong women's title on day 2. Of course, they had the tag match on day 1. But what did you make of these two kind of, locking it up? And it's kind of like Julia wrestling American talent is always something that I've kind of wanted ever since there was any sort of possibility of it, So yeah, Willow, great way to kind of she's a great person to lock up for a New Japan Strong title. We'll see who else Julia will wrestle. Mercedes Moné, of course, will be a top people's list. We'll see where it goes. There's a lot of people who like to see Julia face on a US soil or even in Japan like this was, and wrestling US stars over there and just kind of introduce her to a new audience. So, but yeah, Ayo, what did you think of, Willow and Julia getting it together?
I'm sorry. I'm scrolling Twitter, and I just saw another breaking announcement from 3-time Booker of the Year, Tony Khan. And MJF and Adam Cole's opponents for tonight have been announced. And they are Daddy Magic and The Butcher. So that is what we have to look forward to tonight on AEW.
This watch along
Wednesday
could be
Dynamite.
like.
We've chosen a great week to start.
Manny's gonna be like, I don't know what Manny's gonna say on
He's
this
hard,
watch along.
look, man. As someone who's done a lot of watch-alongs with Manny the Hooper, it's hard to wrangle him when he gets going. I mean, you got to really, whoever's doing it, I'm telling you, just be ready to grab a headlock on him. He can go in many directions. He can be quite wild at times when the show is trending in the wrong direction. So everyone be careful if they tune
I
in
think
tonight.
he's gonna be. I think. I don't. I'm worried. What Manny might
I would be.
come out
As someone who's done that dance before, you should be worried, quite frankly. So good luck, mate.
You sure you don't want to join us, John?
Pretty certain, actually. Yeah. These match graphics have not swayed me, believe it or not. I think I'm going to pass.
But let me get back on
Yes.
topic. Julia and Willow, I adored this match. I love this fucking match. I think it was everything that I could want from a Julia versus Willow match, and I think it was great to see how over Willow had gone with the crowd in literally just 1.5 matches. And that's a testament to her and her skills and how she portrays herself as a babyface and shit. And Julia just looked like a complete star in night 1 and 2. Like she if she could work at any company in the world and just be one of the most over acts, in my opinion. She's but I love that shit, bro. It was good shit. I would have loved to see Willow like have the moment of beating Julia, going to Japan, beating Julia, coming back and having an actual run with the belt. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, they were trying to put it on her in the first place or anything. It was Mercedes' belt in the first place. They never, they obviously respect Willow to put her in the finals, but they were never planning to belt her up, at least not at this time. So she knows she wasn't going to go from that to beating Julia in Japan. And then, that's just, it was not going to happen.
Would have been a bit of a drastic step.
It would have been a real, as much as I would love to see it and other fans would have loved to see it, that's just, you can't expect that. So I'm happy, all things considered. It was great. I'm a big fan of Julia too, so it's not like I'm mad at her having some more gold. It's good shit, man.
That's what a lot of fans seem to forget, bro, is Willow was never supposed to win the belt in the first place. So her and everybody was talking about Mercedes versus Julia. No disrespect to Willow, but they were not talking about Julia versus Willow before the Mercedes match. So it was just it was
a predictable result, but the match itself,
it could have been Mercedes beating Willow and then going to face Julia afterwards.
Yeah.
The result was going to happen.
Julia and Mercedes genuinely feels like a big time prize fight, right? That has if they promote that the correct way, I think that could be really, really big business. I mean, I think it will do well regardless, right? Because Mercedes fan base is very much locked into what she's doing, but the ceiling on that from a marketing point of view feels pretty high to me. So we'll see what they do with it.
All right. And then to piggyback off of that, Joe, that seems like the biggest prize fight, quote unquote, in wrestling that you could do right now, at least outside of WWE. So it wouldn't benefit Bushiroad or Stardom at all to be we're gonna do that a month, 2 months, down the line, but right now you're gonna lose to Willow clean. Right. So it's just it's very understandable why they did what they did. But,
it feels like you should probably do, because with the strong belt being in the picture, you would assume they would main event a US show, right? Like one of those US pay-per-views they do. Right. Which could be cool in the right city and with the right, and you could always do a rematch in Japan, which would have its own feel and prestige and magnitude. A 2-match series there, I think, could be really, really cool. So hopefully they maximize that. It's a cool matchup.
Yeah,
man. Like I was saying, Julia, just in front of US fans, it's someone you definitely need to at least try and turn into an international star, I think, because that's what she should be. Willow's great. We all love Willow here. But yeah, man. There's more War Dogs. We got Clark Connors and Driller Malone versus Catch 22, which is TJP and Francesco Akira. Big Driller Maloney.
Big Driller, another worker. I really just try to hammer into Chuck's head that this is a great talent, someone you should change your opinion on, someone you shouldn't have an agenda against. And she wasn't having it at first, but she's coming. She's seen the light. She is now a supporter of Big Driller Dan Maloney.
She was like,
Absolutely,
he's from
man.
Rev Pro. Rev Pro fucking sucks. And I was
Yeah,
like,
she was just shitting all over Red
That
Pro.
was crazy.
I've never done that. Well, I have shit on Red Pro, but not for that reason.
Kayfabe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Love Red Pro. Can't wait for the show on Sunday. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, man. Clark Connors and Driller Malone, they captured the IWGP Junior tag titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This was a good one. This was a good one versus Akira and TJP. I think Akira and TJP have been great the past like year or so, something like that. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, man. This was another good one, and then they also successfully defended the next day versus Chaos, which was someone out there,
It
Charlie.
was Rocky.
yeah.
Was it Rocky and Yo?
Yeah, it was Rocky and
Yeah,
Yo versus
yeah.
them.
Yeah, there we go. So they went 2 for 2 at Independence Day. They looks like they're gonna have fucking nice little run with the tag junior tag titles. So yeah, man. Charlie, which War Dogs do you prefer?
Oh, that's not the question I was expecting. Gabe Kidd and Alex Coughlin.
What about you, Hulbert? Where do you find yourself
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
I
War
know.
Dogs?
The Driller Maloney thing's going to take a while for me. Give me some time. Right, give me a little.
I like
Yeah.
Maloney. I think he's just been settling into his New Japan
Yes.
run. Them throwing him straight into Best of Super Juniors was a choice. I think
Yeah.
it was.
You've told me before. All bits aside, Charlie's been bullish on Driller Maloney previously, and I was less so. I may have said some slightly,
Spiteful things.
but he's doing it. I'm happy for him in all seriousness.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Kid team. I think is like one of the more exciting pairings we've got in tag team wrestling for a while now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great tradition. The heavyweight tag teams in Bullet Club, right? We have Gallows and Anderson. We have the Gorillas of Destiny. We have Farley and Chase Owens. Now to put the War Dogs on that kind of iconic sort of Mount Rushmore we have forming is quite the honor. So
Real.
I much prefer that team. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just
There was
gotta
a.
say, though,
Go ahead.
Francesco Akira is like having an incredible year
Yes,
for
he
how
is.
young he is. He's fucking amazing. Like, he's only like 23 as well, so he's got a really high ceiling. He's probably the best young boy of United Empire.
His teammate, on the other hand, TJP, you gotta stop dressing like a senior kid in 2000.
Bro, him being
You're not
him
17.
being 40 years old and
It's
deciding he's like, actually, I'm emo
hilarious.
now. Like, we don't dab anymore or spike our hair. We're actually emo now, and this is something that I've decided to do at 40 years old.
Nigga, you're not.
It's
You're
amazing.
40. You're about to
It's
be
amazing.
50.
Unfortunately, TJP is a very good wrestler. Catch 22, they've definitely been having a run. I was just like, sometimes I watch Akira and I'm like, you're just a guy, but then other times he has performances like he did these past couple days. I'm just, I do see the upside.
Did you see
with him.
his match against Desperado from Best of the Super
Yes,
Juniors?
I did.
Yeah, bro.
That was great.
I was like, damn, should I drop my agenda against this nigga?
I thought he was like gonna try to be a nigga like Doki, where like all year Doki's like not really good, and then as soon as he touches the best of Super Junior,
Turns
starts going crazy. But he did really good in all his matches, and he was doing good since. So
Fairs. Yeah, man, they're looking good. Like we were saying earlier, these tags in the Bullet Club, it's good business, man. Good business. On day 2, there was a Tanahashi Ishii 6-man tag. I didn't get around to watching that, but does anyone have any? Was it any good? How was our guy Tana looking out there, man?
I can't lie, I skipped past it.
yeah, nah,
You know what? I watched Tana's entrance because I don't skip the Aces entrances, bro. Who knows how many we got left, and then hit that fast forward button, brother.
Hey man, love you, Tana, bro. I think you're the greatest, but hey,
I didn't pay
Happens
much
to the
attention
best
to
of
this one. I was making food while this match was on. So
Oh man,
Didn't they team up with the DKC?
They did.
Yes, he was
Yeah.
in that
Bro,
match.
what? Like,
He was in
why?
that
What
match.
is?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is he supposed to be? Because he literally just does the Parker Boudreaux thing, where every time he doesn't move, he just
Well, but his thing is like, actually, I'm a fake shoot martial artist. He's like doing karate chops and shit. It's I don't know, man. DKC is a social experiment.
That's y'all favorite young lion, y'all. Y'all like the DKC?
I know Chuck's high on
Tired of
him.
y'all?
Don't do this.
Charlie's
Don't do
definitely
this.
high
Don't
on
do
him.
this. Don't do this. Don't do this.
Yeah. No,
This isn't
actually,
true.
Charlie
This
in the
isn't
group
true.
chat.
This isn't true. This
Charlie
isn't true.
in
This
the
isn't true.
group
This
chat
isn't
has been telling us
true.
that DKC is top 5 that are alive.
Why did I agree to this show again?
To use
Anyways, I know.
I'm just relaying what we've been told.
Shout out Team Filthy.
5 black fans.
Love Tom Lawler.
I'm talking grabs.
The placement of that was even better than usual.
Niggas said Shibata did not train that nigga.
No, but like, what was Shibata thinking? Just like watching this nigga and then being like, yeah, you graduate, I guess. Like just knowing how, like what he is, bro.
Who be train? Who's some of the trainers in the dojo again?
I don't fucking know. I did know.
Let me look up the NJPW.
I just don't know.
dojo. He was in LA dojo, right?
Yeah, he was
Where's
in
Money?
LA.
I'm sending him a link for the Twitch. Watch
Shibata
along.
signing and a bunch of I don't know, podcasters maybe.
Anyway, let's talk about Eddie Kingston. Let's talk about the real meat and potatoes. You know, let's talk about the real. Eddie Kingston is a New Japan Strong Openweight champion. He's finally won the big one. You know, in his native land of Japan. We love Eddie Kingston. It was so important to him. You know, or he was just working the fuck out of us. But, you know, if you know anything about Eddie Kingston, it would be fair to assume this did mean quite a lot to him. Homicide was there on the outside celebrating with him, which is just...
sir.
It's art, man. It's
That
art.
shit was
Oh, but
amazing.
I know this is a big day for you. You know, you managed to avoid spoilers. Your boy won the big one, bro. You know, the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship. How you feeling?
The most prestigious prize in all of sports has finally landed with the Mad King, Eddie Kingston. It was really cool. I mean, honestly, like, and I think I would assume King would agree with this assessment. The belt is like, you know, it's Korakuen Hall, it's wrestling Kenta, who, look, wherever Kenta's at this point, Kenta's still like an icon, like for what he did, what he was, you know.
Yeah.
Wrestling Kenta at Korakuen Hall was always cool. So the belt is just the icing, it would be real. But it was good, but it was a really good time. Like, you know, I think everyone going into this, everyone's aware of where Kenta's at, and you're not going to expect like a world title epic by any means. But I thought they had a good match, and I thought for what Kenta has left, I thought they gave you some nice flashes of that. He needs, you know, some smoke and mirrors these days, right? Like with the ref bump and the kind of like 70s heel shtick he does sometimes. But it actually worked in this setting because the defining kind of theme of these shows was something that I had forgotten from back when Ring of Honor would run Korakuen Hall, which is when a US group, which is technically what this was with New Japan Strong, will run Korakuen Hall. The crowd will react to that as they believe the wrestlers want them to, right? It's like you'll get the "this is awesome" chants and "holy shit" chants. And this particular match, it was like watching Dynamite with the Eddie chants. I mean, he was getting like the Eddie Kingston response we're used to. So that elevated the match as it did almost every match over the 2 nights. So I really enjoyed it. If I'm being honest, probably more a moment than a match, but it was a great moment. I mean, Homicide being out there, and I think Homicide tried to pull his bad arm up, and King was like, "Get the fuck off me!" And he said, "Homicide did exactly the effect of show him that fucking belt or something." Like, it's like that is exactly how I would assume this moment would go. So delighted to see them both share that one. It's very cool.
Yeah, it was you know, good day. It's a good day. It's been Eddie Kingston fan. It's been a good couple of weeks, you know.
It has.
Going into the G1, part of one of the main storylines on AEW, and now this, you know, we eating good, man. We eating good.
No, we're not talking about it. Listen, we gotta listen. Y'all gotta stop playing with Kenta, bro.
Thank you. Me and Rob, agendas aside, me and Rob are Kenta's 2 last strongest soldiers. We've heard the disrespect. We've heard y'all talk about his power walking. We heard y'all talk about him wrestling in t-shirts.
You think, nigga, we wrestling for Impact. You think we not gonna power walk?
Hey, man. It's an Impact match. Shirt stays on. We power walking.
Real shit.
Kenta still got it, bro. He brings it out when he needs to. I like the in-ring work a lot more
House of
than
Glory,
it seems
power
Joe
walking.
did. I think Kenta was out there doing the motherfucking thing. Shout out to Eddie. Obviously, he's a great dance partner for anybody to have. Had an amazing match. But we gotta, like, Kenta went out there and he wrestled his ass off for Eddie, in my opinion, for 2023 Kenta. And shout out to him, man. He could have went in there shirt on power walking and job.
Kenta said House of Glory, power walking. Defy, power walking. Defiant, if that's even still a thing, power walking. Oh, he said Cork and Hall, championship on the line. We're in 2012. 2012 win.
I respect that. You were going to go further and you stopped yourself. I respect that.
Yeah, you can't go too far back, you know.
Kenta would have taken an exploder off the top of the Korg and all onto the fan.
I will say there was some. I mean, I always loved the big overhand right he throws, like, you know, the big blow, and he threw like 8 of them on King because King wasn't going down. There's some good stuff there for sure.
Kingston, he knew Kingston was gonna make his ass work.
Yeah.
Just good vibes, wasn't it?
Yeah,
man, absolutely. It always is, you know. I mean, Eddie and Homicide are out there, you know. Good, real vibes out there. Speaking of Homicide, he was involved in the tag match on day one.
He sure was.
Teaming up with John Moxley versus El Desperado and Jun Kasai. Obviously, Jun Kasai, this is his first appearance on a New Japan show, I believe, or something along those lines. Got a huge reaction. Definitely could feel the novelty even watching it at home. Yeah, man, he had great atmosphere for this one. People were there to see, and to be honest, they just kind of like stabbed each other for like 20 minutes, and you know,
you know that Homicide did not do a single wrestling move that entire match. It was all strikes with weapons or otherwise. He did not do a single wrestling move the entire match, bro.
He genuinely felt like 1987 Abdullah the Butcher on a diet, and I mean that with love. He was like stumbling around with blood just leaking. I was like, this is real. God bless him.
It was it was crazy. I don't know if it was entirely for me, but I was still entertained by it, you know. Just by, like,
this is my kind of wrestling. This is the sort of shit I love.
By no means was it like the greatest worked match, right? Mm-hmm. Like, Homicide's an old fucking man. Like, Jun Kasai's an old man, been through a lot, but it was fucking grass, man. It was
the crowd was up for it. Jun Kasai's entrance, like, if you watch anything from these shows, watch that because it was fucking incredible.
That was amazing. That was an amazing moment. I watched that back like 5 times.
I was about to, like, you know,
it so many times.
Like, you know me, I'm a huge BJW fan, and so you know when for real, when it's like I don't really watch this kind of wrestling that often because it's kind of a thing as to where if I watch like every BJW show and they're doing something like this, which I know they probably don't, I'm just like, chances are if they do it on a Dynamite, I'm not gonna care. But like, so since I only see this shit on Dynamite every once in a while, like this kind of shit they were doing in this match, bro, the forks and then the shit on the razor blades and shit, bro, that's real. That was real shit. Especially the shit where they were putting the shit. Well, especially in the second match that Moxley had, I think it was this morning, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When we get into that one, they had some crazy shit that I'd never seen before. So, shout out to Jun Kasai.
Fucking incredible.
Yeah, man. Charlie, you were saying you love this. Tell us about it. What did you love?
It's just, like, if you're not a deathmatch wrestling fan, like, this isn't going to be your sort of thing. But Jun Kasai is such a legend, and he's probably like the best deathmatch wrestler ever. Like, there's like no one that comes close to that, really. And you put him in a ring with like John Moxley, who just does not give a fuck, and like El Desperado, who doesn't really wrestle death matches that often, but like he can do the spots, like, and he proved that.
Yeah, when he's called upon his game.
Yeah. And then like Homicide, who is just like pure vibes in this sort of like environment. It just makes for a just incredible viewing. Like, they were doing some crazy shit, and like the skewer spot that had everyone on Twitter going mental yesterday. Oh, it's just, you need, like, I don't even know how to put it into words. You just need to watch it if this is your sort of thing. If you don't like death matches, don't watch it. But
I don't get what it is about the skewers that just has people being like, all right, this is enough.
Like, I know that's not even the craziest
bro.
spot.
What do you mean? Like,
Bro, I
I
don't,
don't get squirmy
I,
chatting personally, but like,
10 out of 10 times,
someone,
10 out of 10 times, I would rather take the skewers than like a bag full of thumbtacks, bro. Like that, I feel like that's a crazier visual than the skewers.
I'd rather take thumbtacks, even though I've heard it's worse.
I don't
Bro,
know, man. Like,
Desperado was being thrown into barbed
It's
wire.
your
I'd
head
rather
though,
take
man.
skewers than
barbed,
that.
like unclipped
Yeah,
barbed
but-
wire. Like, I feel like all this shit is worse than just skewers.
I'm
Like,
with you, yeah.
I don't, because
It's real wrestling, nigga.
That shot just always causes discourse on the timeline. You see, like, someone who's quote unquote mainstream or was mainstream, and they take skewers. It always, you have the WWE fans going crazy, and you have the like AEW and New Japan or Deathmatch fans like defending it or whatever. It's just like, I don't know what it is about that particular spot that is too far for people.
I'd rather take none of them, to be honest. You know.
Oh yeah,
I'd
rather none of them. But if I had to,
Oh yeah.
I'd rather take the skewers and the thumbs.
You know, I don't think any of us want to delve too deep in the discourse, but like, it is unfortunate that it's an ongoing debate about Moxley when, even if you're not a big Moxley fan, his willingness to be this fucking nuts is like clearly the coolest thing about him. You know, like the idea of him doing this show and that match when he's had the career he's had is objectively the best thing about John Moxley. That's why he's such a unique part of the industry. Like that's why I'm a big
millions
fan.
and millions and millions of dollars in the bank, bro.
Yeah.
He does not need to take a 20-hour flight over to Japan and get skewered in the head, back full of tags, roll around on razor blades.
2 nights straight,
On back-to-back
too.
nights.
2 nights straight on back-to-back nights.
It's like this match was kind of an embodiment of the best thing about this kind of mini tour was like the novelty of this matchup. Like this is an insane matchup. And again,
Telecart's
we've all
never gonna
kind
let
of
him go back.
we've referenced it along, but like Homicide is in this match, and it's like, okay, you know, like I just personally, I think in an era or a generation, it's been a long time now, where top guys, you know, behave a certain way and sign certain contracts. I think the kind of, you know, singular trait of Moxley and the centerpiece of his legacy at this point is he loves doing stuff purely for his own entertainment. And obviously a lot of people enjoy watching it, but he doesn't really give a fuck. Like, that's the coolest thing about him, if you ask me. He's like, I'm going to go and wrestle Jun Kasai. Fuck it.
Yo, and then he has a match with Jun Kasai to do all that crazy shit. And then the next night, instead of like, he could just power walk and just do a couple spots, take a couple bumps. He's like, no, I will take trading skewers. And I will take rolling around. I will take punching each other with
Them
barbed
both
wire.
going through the barbed wire table on the second night, that was fucking nuts. Like, that match with SB was just...
Mark's doing things like this during his free time. It gives him credibility, in my opinion, when he's on American TV. He's in like just a regular match in a regular program with another American. He's like, oh, I'm the toughest guy, I'm the craziest guy, this, that, and the third. It's like, he kind of fucking is, bro. Do you see what like this multi-millionaire is willing to do on his like vacation time, bro? Like, he doesn't need to be doing any of this shit.
Literally.
Yeah, man. Let's get into the.
Nice.
let's talk about Max versus Deaths then, since we're on the Max topic anyway. These two have really good chemistry, man. It just works, you know. A couple years ago, it's probably not the match that people were kind of fantasy booking. It's so random, you know. A few years ago, a lot of people wouldn't have imagined this was possible. But yeah, man, these have a really great chemistry, and they killed it again. Ayo, what did you think of Max versus Des?
Des be someone who I wasn't like that high on going into the pandemic. Bro, he's been on a fucking tear, bro. Like he's
so
on another
good.
level nowadays. Like I'm genuinely a big fan of his now. He needs to move up to heavyweight and get a push at heavyweight. Like he does. He's done all he can do in the junior division. He's like huge now anyway. It makes no sense that he's in there with the juniors and shit. He needs to get moved
Literally.
up. Mox making the most out of it. Like Mox is like a huge star in America, but he's also a huge star in Japan, just like based off of like if you only watch New Japan Pro Wrestling as a Japanese resident, Mox is like a huge star in your eyes, and for good reason, bro, because he always goes out there and shows out. So I don't like that he's trying to like sneak up on my nigga Kenny for his wrestler of the year bit, but you know he's doing his thing.
I mean, yeah, man, it was good shit. Like I said, great chemistry between the two. Max is just doing what Max does, you know. Al Desperado's a savage. Hulbert, what do you think of this one?
Oh yeah, this was just glorious kind of gore and violence and just good old fashioned wrestling filth. You know, I mean that with love. It's just, it's the kind of wrestling that you're tempted to look through your fingers on at times. You know, you question what you're watching in the best way, but you can't stop watching. It's great. I mean, that's the genre. I'm not a deathmatch expert by any means, and I wouldn't list it as my favorite genre, but I think there is a great sense of drama that the best guys can capture with these matches, right? And the kind of will they, won't they, like the spot, for example, the barbed wire spot on the outside where they had the big board.
Mhm.
It's like the spot itself is sick, obviously, and you're nuts for doing it, and that's what they. But the real magic of the spot is the 50 seconds beforehand where they're like, tussling back and forth, and the audience is like, that's the magic of it. So I always appreciate it from that point of view, and it was the case for both of these matches. I love both of them. They were great times. The singles match, no different. Desperado he's genuinely one of like the coolest wrestlers around in like every which way.
All right.
Him getting the bouquet of flowers and pulling out a cheese grater is like, and I think Ian Riccaboni's call was like, he has a romantic relationship with violence. I was like, fuck it. That's one way to put it, Chief. I mean, the man's got cheese grater and his damn flowers. I mean, it's outrageous. Only in wrestling.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Wild shit. Go on, Rob. Go on.
I think it's like also when you talk about Desperado, it's kind of like AO said. It's like if he's been IWGP champion, I think a couple of times, but at this point, it's like guys like him who are like Taguchi and Kushida, who they're going to keep in the junior division forever. At least they've won a Best of the Super Junior, And El Desperado has been to the final, but he's never won it. And it's, to me, like at this point, it's if he's never going to win the final to the Best of the Super Junior, he's never going to win one. Then what's the point of keeping him down here?
Sweep him up, yeah.
There's no point in keeping him in the juniors if he's never going to win one of those. So just move him up to heavyweight or give him the never openweight title.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do long term with like El Desperado, and of course Romu is obviously the other one that everyone always kind of mentions when it comes to moving up, so we'll see what they're cooking. But before we dive into a little bit of a Dynamite preview, we'll go over some super. Margaret, Joseph Madea, Big Bunda Joe,
Jesus.
how are you doing?
That was rather
Shout out
forward.
to Maggie T.
Absolutely not.
Maggie T.
No shout out necessary there. None whatsoever.
No, nothing.
No.
No, fair. Alright, Madison 84 appreciate it. Mark Still, the man, clears Roman Rollins by a lot.
That's a fact.
I mean, that's your opinion, so
That's facts.
Bruh. $2. Need AO, Rob, and Charlie to apologize to Wrestler of the Year, MJF.
He's not Wrestler of the Year,
Who?
though.
What for? I don't know, what for?
Yeah. What's he done that warrants an apology?
Bro, he just
He's
had
wrestling
the
the
worst
butcher.
match of his entire life. Like, what are we talking? He just had the worst match of his entire life. What are we apologizing for?
He's had great matches this year. None of us have denied that.
Yeah.
There's no apology needed.
Right, like
Thanks
I
for the super
literally
chat, though.
like we literally have admitted in the past 2 weeks we've liked a lot of the things he was doing
Yeah.
besides like a promo or two.
That was a hell of a fire up from Charlie there. Did you see that? I see the right hands that came flying in.
God, dude, bro.
Bro, but Kenny Omega is wrestling.
It's a comeback.
Rob has been called out by Red Rider Dry for $10. He says, Rob, name your top 5 favorite BJW matches and don't use cage match. We know your game. You can't fool anyone. As
You know
always,
what?
shout out
You
to
know
you
what?
guys in the
You know
front.
You're on your
Shout out
ass,
you,
Rob.
Dre.
Shout out, Dre.
Okay. No.
He's on
I
your
got you.
ass.
Listen, there was a BJW match that Ash made me watch a month or two that I don't remember the match specifically. All I remember is there was shoot headbutts and it was gas. There was a BJW versus CZW thing on YouTube I watched where it was Zandig versus somebody. I don't remember the guy's name. Hey, listen.
So right now you're 1 for 4 on participants.
What the fuck? Like, what is that? That doesn't matter. Listen, the point is,
It doesn't
okay,
matter.
listen, give me the top 5 credit scores that you ever had, and then maybe I'll answer this question.
Bro, you can't call Dre a broke ass nigga after he just donated to us.
Shout out, Dre.
Do you remember when
Talking
it was like a month?
catching Rob out? He knows his game, you know.
It was like a month ago. Manny watched one match from Big Japan and joined like a Discord and rebranded and never watched another one. that was the end of his project. Like I've seen it. It's done.
Drake, top 5 championships that the Houston Rockets have ever won.
Oh, so we're getting spiteful. Match on that waiting for. I appreciate you again. $1.99. Desperado is one of the most underrated in the world.
Absolutely.
It's starting to look that way.
Fucking love Desperado.
He's starting to get more love as of late, but definitely, yeah.
It's kind of like if you watch him, you know, like Reggie, $2 Australian. Appreciate you. Despin no selling Omega from which finisher is beast.
That was the stomp, right? The Seth, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will say, and you know, I'm staying out of any kind of agendas here, especially on this evening. It's been a lot's gone on this tonight, but I saw that clip where I was Seth freaking fired up the V trigger the other night. I said, that one's a little close to the line.
Oh my god!
And he did like a big taunt, and he turned his back to get to the big run up, and that's because Seth's got his strikes, but strikes are not them necessarily.
I've never seen Seth Rollins look so unathletic before in his entire life. That when he did that shambolic ass V trigger, bro. Mandy Rose's V trigger was better.
I am an enjoyer of what Seth Rollins is doing right now, but listen, bro, y'all gotta stop denying that this man went home in 2016 and started watching in 2015 and started watching Tanahashi and the Omega clips, bro. Y'all gotta stop lying to yourselves. He did. And wrestlers adopt from other wrestlers all the time.
He's guilty.
Calling Seth Omega from Wish is a compliment that Seth does not deserve.
Hey, listen, wrestlers adopt from other wrestlers all the time. The sad part is Seth is not really good at it. So
yeah, I would just like his stuff to look a little more like snug, you know, like he's gonna it's when he does like low key spots, and it's like the reason low key spots are always because he fucking kicks people, man. You can't do that every night. Night of the week.
Legitimately knocked out a man in a wrestling ring.
You can't steal his spot and do it 3 times a week on the loop. You know what I mean? It's not how it works.
Yuzura Hart, $5. My hot take is Mox is just better in pre-tapes doing shtick. His live promos drag because his matches are great. Hold on. My hot take is Mox is just better in pre-tapes.
Still says Max.
Oh, he
Max.
said Max.
Matt.
I was like, Max.
Yeah, MJF.
I thought that's why you restarted.
Bro, I was looking at the screen and I was like, what?
Yeah, I was
Okay. Third time's charm. Ready?
Yes.
And rub. You know what I mean? Right. My hot take is Max is just better in pre-tapes doing shtick. His live promo is drag. Because his matches are great, it's just his old brother 15-minute promos.
I completely agree with you.
Yes. I think that's spot on, and the fact that is probably a hot take is insane.
Yeah,
if we all watch the same show, that should be very obvious.
I don't get how it is a hot take, but it is a hot take.
Because it is. It is, yeah, it shouldn't be. That's absolutely correct.
Boris Johnson, $5. Joe, my old chum. The kids love the London World Order shirts. See you at the Ashes tomorrow.
The Ashes, oh my god.
The Ashes is
That's crazy.
That was a dagger to the heart. That was.
Yeah. Bro, $2. I respect you free, but #agendas before logic.
Nah.
But you can't call it an agenda when we openly praise him when he does good shit. Like, saying someone does something bad is not an agenda when it's true.
Oh my! No, I don't have any agendas.
I was slandering Max in 2021. This is nothing new here.
I don't have
agendas. Max in 2021, 2, and 3.
I don't have any agendas.
Big free.
All my opinions are facts. So I don't have any.
All right. Let's look at this Dynamite card.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm fired up. We've got to do the Twitch watch along. You know, that'll probably be what gets me through the show. Just watching Manny kind of fall apart as we, you know, as we take ourselves through this. But all right. Kenny Omega versus Wheeler Utahs, of course, the big thing. You know, that's the big thing that this team's looking forward to over here. So you know, Kenny Omega singles match. It's always an occasion when he's against a real wrestler. Wheeler Utah. He's very much proven himself to be a real wrestler over the past few months. You know, it should be a good one, man. And see how much Kenny Omega gives to Utah. You would assume that he's going to give him quite a lot because you know
Yeah.
He's going to try and have like your classic, like at this point, like the novel Kenny Omega singles match. You know, it's going to be, it's going to be a good time. Charlie, you fired up for this one?
Yes, absolutely. They're finally doing BCC and Elite singles matches. We've only been asking for them for about 2 months now, but better late than never, I guess.
Yes.
It's going to be good, though. It's going to be good. Yuta's, like, really come leaps and bounds, especially, like, the last few months. Like, he's really settled into, like, being, like, a heel in BCC. Like, because he was improving in BCC anyways, but, like, being a heel has been really good for him, I think. And it's just going to be a great time because it's a Kenny match. And, like, it should main event Dynamite and end in chaos, personally. That's what I think.
Yeah, it probably will. You probably will get your wish, hopefully it's a good time. It's a good time. Rob, Wheeler Yuta, is he going to step up to the plate? Is he going to deliver? Is he going to be worthy of having a singles match?
Wheeler
with Kenny
Yuta should be
Omega?
thankful that the god of professional wrestling is giving him the permission. He signed. He got his parents to sign the permission slip so that he could be able to challenge God tonight. He's not winning, but
Yeah, of course
I mean,
it's not. Come on.
hey man, he should be thankful for the people that he's around and the ground that he walks on. That Kenny Omega gave him this opportunity.
Hey
It'll
man.
be a good match.
Look, man.
And in that, we just thought it'll be a good match.
It's always a blessed day when you get to see Kenny Omega wrestle. Especially in a singles match. I'm fired up. Wheeler Yuta is a very talented young wrestler. I definitely think this heel turn has been the best thing for him. He was kind of like he was kind of a geek when he was a babyface in the BCC. He was good out of the ring, but like the babyface promos, like him just standing there smiling and shit. It was just like,
hey, don't talk that way to my friend.
Yeah, this heel turn. This heel turn's been really great. It has been really good for him out of the ring. And I think it's even like improved his like in-ring style a little bit, like him like wrestling with a little bit more of an edge, like a little shit, like a shithead. I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. Kenny's just gonna keep his rest of the year campaign going. Another calm 4.25. Calm 4.25. Just another Wednesday night.
Hey, yo, what are you going to do?
No, right. For a nigga like Seth Rollins, 4.25. It's a lifetime achievement. For Kenny Omega, it's just another Wednesday. You feel me?
Hey, yo, what are we going to do next Friday when this episode, Kenny versus Wheeler Yuta, does a bigger number than Samoa Joe versus CM Punk?
Well, yeah, man. Holbert Omega singles match, special stuff. Like I said, it's kind of became. It's like a novel thing.
Absolutely.
Now that we've got him back, obviously he was out for a long time. He came back and it was all trios, and it was like, where's the singles matches? And now it's became like a whole thing. Like the last one with the one with Vikingo was literally even like proven to draw really well. I wonder if this one will do the same. But obviously there was even more novelty to the Vikingo one as well because Vikingo, you know what I mean? So people who wanted to see him, of course, tuned in for that. But you fired up for this one? What are you expecting from it?
Oh yeah, I am indeed. I think this is, it's worth watching the TV show for this match, and you hope the other stuff kind of, I don't want to say exceeds expectations, but in some cases exceeds expectations. But I think this is worth your attention nonetheless. I mean, Kenny has always had a certain star presence, but honestly, since he came back, I think it's been more like apparent than ever because people missed him, right? And he has a certain there's a prestige to that guy's big time main event matches, and you assume this will be the main event tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. And I also love these situations where let's see how close Wheeler is to that top tier, right? I mean, obviously they believe in him an awful lot. I think it goes without saying, and he has delivered in almost every big spot. The last really big singles match I think he had was the Orange Cassidy international title match, which was terrific, by the way. That's like one of the great matches of Orange's reign. So I think there's a real opportunity for him to once again kind of prove a point and show how close he is. Obviously, certain parts of his game need work still, but I think this match may kind of reopen eyes that are just forgetting where he's at as a singles wrestler. Wheeler is great. Yeah. Absolutely. So I think this one has a really high ceiling. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. We'll also hear from John Moxley. Don't know if it's going to be pre-taped like in America or pre-taped over in Japan. Like, I don't know what that'll be, but we will be hearing from John Moxley. Owen Hart tournament. We've got Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho. Of course, that got rescheduled from last week because Britt Baker was ill. Hopefully, she's 100% this week going into this one. Yeah, man. We was all kind of predicting that Ruby was just going to get the win last week. I went out on a limb and said Britt Baker before the match got cancelled. I'm sticking with Britt Baker. Are you guys all sticking with Ruby Soho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't fair enough. We previewed the match last week. I don't think we could say much more other than, hopefully Britt Baker's 100%, But yeah, man, we've got this blind eliminator tag team tournament, which has caused quite a lot of, the people who like to criticise have definitely criticised the fact that no bracket has been announced for this, myself included.
Tony Khan has never dropped a bracket in his life, I don't think.
It's fucking weird, man.
Like, just like all the matches
the Owen got dropped.
This year, but not last year. Didn't.
But yeah, man. Blind eliminator tag. We've got Keith Lee and Swerve versus Orange and Darby. We got MJF and Adam Cole versus Daddy Magic and the Blade
And the Butcher.
No, and the Butcher. Okay.
The Blade's in the
don't worry,
man.
the Blade's
Don't worry, you'll see him.
You'll see him. He's in the 6-man tag.
And of course, there's that 6-man. So a lot of tag action going on. Of course, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Orange and Darby will be kind of the one that we circle, I'd assume.
Yeah.
MJF and Adam Cole will just be a glorified angle, So, yeah, man, Keith and Swerve linking back up together, which will also include an angle, you'd assume, So, yeah, man, what are we expecting out of this? Do you think they'll let them have like an actual match, or do you think it will just kind of like fall into shenanigans and Swerve Keith lost like, immediately?
I think they definitely wrestle.
Yeah.
But then it's just going to end in shenanigans.
You're going to get your classic force tags of
exactly.
And
slapping back a little too hard. I just realized a couple hours ago that because there was a scenario in my head where this odd couple thing like stays together as long as possible. They get to the finals and they lose there. There was that scenario in my head. But they have the whole Nick Wayne thing going on next week. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to like free Swerve up for that. So I'm expecting like for it to all go to hell here. Swerve kills Nick Wayne next week. Then there's a post-match beatdown with the Mogul Embassy. Keith Lee comes out. Darby comes out or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. It's going to be a whole thing. We'll see.
I think like for this match, Keith's like going to accidentally bump into Swerve or like take him out with a move or something. And Swerve's just going to fucking dip. And they're going to get a pin on Keith. That's what I think is going to happen.
I will say, I mean, this is a great matchup, right? I mean, I think it will certainly have the ceilings lower because of the kind of the things we're talking about here. We all know that we're going to get certain shenanigans on that front, but like even if we get some flashes of Swerve and our glories, like a little run together, like this is going to be tremendous. Right. Orange and Darby have real chemistry too, so I think this will be very good.
Yeah, it should be. Well, the talent involved definitely are more than capable of making it good, just see where it goes. See where it goes with Keith and Swerve. We're still waiting on that singles match so we can blow off a feud. Hopefully this is kind of what they use to get to that.
Keith might be back, so they might do it. You got the black hair back, the black goatee back. Hey, man, might get it soon.
I think it'd be great for Collision. They should do it.
That Will See was so spiteful.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna kind of wind down a bit now. Obviously, the Dynamite card we're gonna be doing the watch along over on our Twitch. The link will be on our Twitter page, so keep an eye on that. Like, we'll post a link like we always do when we're about to go live. It will be very shortly. But like I said, winding down. We have a video dropping on Friday, don't we, Joe?
We do indeed, mate. We have how the Usos became WrestleMania main eventers, and also, I believe, pin Roman Reigns. Which I would like to say, because I know a lot of our audience is split on the Usos, and that's fine. It's all well and good. But I would say, you've seen it, Monty. I think this video actually is a pretty interesting kind of track of history beyond whether you're a fan of the team or not, right? Because if you're not aware, the Usos have a very strange relationship with the event of WrestleMania. It took them 8 years on the main roster to make the main card of WrestleMania, which is insane to think about. And certainly no one would have seen them winding up in the main event. So more than anything else, it tracks that. There are some pieces along the way that also are delved into. And I think it's a nice encapsulation of that kind of that ascent up the biggest wrestling card of the year. So I'm excited for everyone to see it. There's a lot of love for it today, which I appreciated. So I'm excited. Yeah, I think people will enjoy it for sure.
It's good shit, man. Obviously, I've seen it. We got the premiere set for noon Eastern on Friday, and it's a great kind of like a timeline, almost kind of like following the Usos through the lens of their WrestleMania events. Obviously, Joe's done a better job of explaining it than I can. But yeah, of the Usos right now are, the top of the world, bro. It's dropping on Friday. Then Friday night they're doing a tribal court for the tribal chief, So they're going to be trending all week, and hopefully we can pop a little number and get, we can get some of those social media views that WWE always brag about.
It's an early premiere too, right? So it's noon Eastern on Friday, correct? So
yes.
I need, even if you have an agenda against the Usos, like myself, I need you to tune in to the video, and we will have an honest discussion this Friday on Imperious about the video.
Listen. Joe, I have already notified the family about your video. And they have notified me that you will be compensated for said video.
They don't know your black ass.
That's not true. They know me.
Spiteful.
The only black people the Fatus and them know are their wives, my brother.
Jesus. Brain Buster 199, appreciate Hall but Horde will rise on Friday. Absolutely. Joe was getting a lot of love on the tweet earlier, man. I'm telling you.
I am one.
It's very cool. Very cool. That's one thing, genuinely. We will have our fun here, and there are many bits on WrestlePurious if anyone hasn't noticed watching this show. I will say we do a hell of a... We come together for these occasions, right? When it's a big one for anyone on the site, it's always great to see that, and our audience very much follows suit. So I did really, really appreciate it. It's very cool.
Yeah, man. We were fired up for it, Good big Usos video, I'm fired up for it because it's fucking Usos Hall, but,
Goes back a long way. I told the story last Thursday. Well, yeah, I told the story last Thursday, right? It was March 2017 when I did that feature about the Usos. Like, it's an important one for me for sure. So, very cool. Very, very cool.
Wonderful stuff. Big Uso fan here.
Actually, AO, you're wrong. They do know me. Hold on, I'm about to show you. I'm about to give you proof right now.
Oh
no.
Right next to, the other boss. The Usos right here in my phone.
Get that shit the fuck out of my face.
I don't know what you're talking about. They do know me.
This is...
I'm really looking. I'm like, what is he about to show me, bro?
I'm just showing you
two shitty contacts in his phone.
I'm just showing you the connections I got, and
Charlie, do you know what Alexia's doing
Right now? She's probably on her way home from work or just gone home from work.
Let's drag her on the watch along.
I can text. I'll shoot her a text.
Yeah, so we're going to go on to the watch along from here. We'll probably be on there in about 10 minutes or something, just before Dynamite starts. At the minute, it's myself, Ayo, Chris, Manny. Charlie says she'll pop in. We're going to try to drag Alexia on. I don't know, Ibu might jump in from work because you know how weird he is. But it's kind of we're doing an open invite thing. I think Murph's coming on. And yeah, we're just gonna kick back and watch Dynamite. I'm gonna be kind of in and out, because I'm gonna be doing I have to do the coverage tonight on the site. So I will be live tweeting, doing coverage, and doing a watch along. So pray for me, wish me luck. It is approaching 1 a.m. here, so it's not exactly the prime time for doing all that multitasking. But yeah, man, hopefully you do join us over on Twitch. We're trying to get something popping over there. And yeah, man, watch-alongs, hopefully it's something that we can do a lot more of, because it's something we haven't actually done as a WrestlePurist family yet, and a lot of people have asked for them. So yeah, man, go over on the Twitch. Keep an eye on our Twitter page, because we will be tweeting a link over there.
Is it in the bio?
Very shortly.
Monty?
I'm not 100%. That's why I'm directing everyone to the Twitter page. But if it is in the description, click on it in the description. But like I said, as we're about to go live, I'll do the tweet anyway. So yeah, man. Please like, subscribe. Appreciated all the super chats. Please turn on our post notifications. Always helps with the amount of live streams we do. But remember, most importantly, please like and subscribe. It always helps. And yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. And hopefully, we will see you guys over on our Twitch momentarily. Peace, everyone.